Hey crew, I've got the key to this 25 Toyota GR86 Hakone edition. And on this rainy day, we are gonna see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19 and a half feet long. I've got the 86 parked right there at the edge, sitting next to a new Toyota Sequoia that my wife is reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. She's got this one parked like a crazy person. It's at an angle, the front tire is turned in, but it kind of doesn't matter because the 86 is so small that it takes up no room in the driveway. You can easily walk between these vehicles, wheel a double stroller through for our kiddos, anything. And the nose of the 86 is right before the gutter at the front of my driveway. And at the back, well, like I said, it's small. There's so much room to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. When first hopping in with the key fob in my pocket, just putting my hand on the door handle unlocks both doors. And I will wait until I'm parked next to someone in a lot to show you the real door opening space. This is one defined notch, and that would be enough to get in, but two is gonna make it so much easier, especially with this umbrella. So I'm going to sit on the sill, then scoot over to the cushion, duck my head to get in, and then retract the umbrella before I put it at my feet. All right. Hello, cabin crew. Thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 25 Toyota GR86 Automatic. And I want to focus on the gearbox for this video because we know the manual is more fun to drive. But what redeeming qualities are there to the automatic for actually living with this car? Let's begin by firing it up. And I keep wanting to clutch in. It's the automatic, Miles. Okay. And there is the Boxer 4-cylinder. Let's go listen to the idle from outside the car. I'm not gonna redeploy the umbrella. I'm just gonna go quick. Okay, so this car has the optional performance exhaust, and the very initial startup is so bass heavy. Now that it's settling down, it's not quite as bad, but it's still that low reverberating frequency that if you're starting your mornings early, your neighbors may not be super happy with you. I do want to point out that I have these curb ramps set up, at least for the left front tire, to help with the clearance issue at the front of my driveway. The 86 isn't so much of a problem with clearance as long as you take things at an angle, but this allows me to go straight on. Before we get out of here, let me show you where I would stick the items I bring with me every day. Like my 32-ounce water bottle, which actually would fit on top of the cup holders here, but it'll slide around. I've got a better solution. It actually will fit inside this door pocket. You just have to pull out the plastic a little bit, and now it's a really snug hold. My smartphone doesn't have a wireless charging pad to go on, and in fact would have to just plug into one of these two USB-A ports, so I might put it here inside these cup holders, and my wallet can join it, I suppose, to keep it secured. And that's pretty much it, except for my GoPro accessory case, which I did have to put inside the glove box. I think that for this small of a vehicle, the storage inside this car is great. Now, I'm gonna throw on my seatbelts, release the mechanical handbrake, flick on the windshield wipers once, pull back the gear selector into drive, and roll on forward down the curb ramp on the left and into the gutter on the right. And I'm easily going to clear my neighbor's 2 basketball hoops. Thanks for those props, Tamarin. All right, I've got my seat heater switched on in the lower of the 2 stages, and I'm nestled into these extremely comfortable sport bucket seats made of leather and suede, and they're just holding me right with good padding. And I've got headroom above at 6 feet tall, and I'm at the perfect position holding on to this wheel, which tilts and telescopes with manual settings. These seats are also manually adjusting, and for almost $40,000 as tested, you might think that power belongs here, but I don't mind because it's a quick configuration between you and maybe the other driver in your household. So one thing, just very initially, compared to the manual, if you're just putzing around town, not having to work the clutch all the time, and the gear selector, maybe between stoplights, is going to be easier on you for your errand running or this part of your commute. And the brake pedal, it's easy to feel out how much pressure is required to smoothly come up to that stoplight. Then as for the power delivery, with this naturally aspirated Boxer 4, In the normal drive mode, you've got a snow mode and a sport mode. Snow is predictably going to pull back on the throttle response, and sport is going to perk things up. But normal is kind of where you want to be because the linear power delivery is plenty urgent, but not overzealous. And the ride is excellent on these Sachs dampers. They're not adaptive dampers, but how they are tuned is not too firm, not too tightly sprung. Yes, it's bouncy like a sports car, but it's also cushy. And the seats and the way they absorb you is helping that for sure. Since there is so much water on the ground, it's worth mentioning that even though this is a rear drive vehicle, I don't at any point in time feel like I don't have enough grip. So here's an example. I'm on a curve. I'm gonna go full throttle. No tire spin and no issues with traction whatsoever. And I am on also a sportier grade of all-season tire, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, but the fact that this vehicle doesn't make an overly grand amount of power, 228 horses and 184 pound-feet of torque, the fact that it is delivered in a linear way, not like a boosty turbo that's just gonna surge at a certain point in time, and the fact that it doesn't weigh very much, less than 3,000 pounds. It's just the perfect formula for a Southern California winter. I don't know if in the snow, on non-winter tires, I would feel as comfortable, but here, this is great. There's a sense of ease to driving this 86 around town, especially with the automatic. And now I'm getting into like a philosophical battle in my own head because I'm thinking, shouldn't a sports car be more work to drive than just a regular old sedan or something like that? And if you get the manual, it certainly is, but it's more engaging. And that's, I think, what draws people to the manual, especially a good manual. But in the 86, it's even just the steering. The way it responds is precisely how you hope and expect it to, but you don't have to drive the car with just the tips of your fingers. It's not nervous. And I love that. It can be kind of relaxing. Now, before I grab my coffee, let's see about the last couple but important daily driving details, like the turn signal sound, which is very traditional and not bothersome. What about the turning radius? I expect greatness here, and that is precisely what I find. Excellent turning circle. Now, what if someone is behaving irresponsibly on the road? It's your obligation to give them a blast of horn to wake them up to the reality of driving. So, what does the horn sound like in the 86? Oh, that's not gonna set them straight. But you know what? It might actually break up the tension for you. You won't be as upset about what just happened, and for them, they're gonna laugh that off, but maybe in the back of their mind go, was someone upset about something I did? At last, it's time for coffee. I'm gonna pop in here to Maz Cafe, and at the same time, I'm gonna see if I can squeeze into this tighter parallel parking spot. Let's see, we get the backup camera here with trajectory lines. Not the highest resolution, I'll be honest, but I can see pretty much everything I need. Tuck in before we crank. Parking sensors, those are helpful. Get close, but not touch. And that was not the best approach, but I think we can salvage it. And we're in. So parallel parking in the 86. Just a breeze. So good. All right. Now let's confirm that everything looks good. Spaced right. Close to the curb. Yes. I can be satisfied with that. Coffee time. Went a little wild today. I got a decaf mocha latte. And thankfully, even with my phone and wallet in these cup holder slots, there is still a spot for the drink to go. And now I have an important mission because Valentine's Day is 2 days from now. And while I don't typically put too much stock in those holidays, I have, at least for a couple years now, wanted to get my wife something special. So I'm going to a jewelry store right after this train finishes crossing. And that mission is gonna have me on the highway for a little while so we can see about things like passing power into traffic. Lovely. Well, all right, so we'll see about passing power a bit later. For now, let's talk about some of the standard driving assistance features you get, which will help on your commute in traffic. We've got adaptive cruise control, so I'm going to set that here and adjust my following distance, increase the speed, and then enjoy not having to put my foot on the brake or throttle to maintain that gap to the vehicle in front of me. And of course, here's another place where the automatic is of benefit, because even with the manual, where you would have adaptive cruise control as well, you'd still have to, in stop and go traffic, clutch in, clutch out, first gear, second gear, etc., etc. Here with the auto, I don't have to do any of that, and that's going to reduce the fatigue of my commute to work, or in this case, to the jewelry store, significantly. And there is also a lane departure warning system, which I will demonstrate. It didn't find that lane marking. Typically, it's going to beep at me. It's not going to correct me with steering input, but it will let me know that I departed my lane and I need to pay more attention to driving. And since I am going to be sitting in this traffic for at least a little while longer, I may want to listen to some music via the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto system. It's not wireless. I did have to plug my phone in right here, but the screen is very easy to use and it's pretty responsive. So getting my preferred music dialed up is no issue at all. And there is a physical volume knob here along with those physical climate controls. I appreciate the inputs, so it cuts down on distraction. This is the standard 8-speaker sound system, and that looks to be about 70% of peak output. This car does not have the optional subwoofer, but man, the bass is thumping, and I hear the plastic covers rattling as it does so. The mids and highs aren't very well defined. It's not an excellent high fidelity sound system, but you know what? It blocked out the outside road noise just fine. It'll check the box for you. All right, the traffic is clearing up a little bit. I'm gonna go into the sport drive mode and change lanes in a nice hurry. Mid-range is strong, and so the 86 can get over to the lane of your choosing without much fuss at all. As to be expected of Southern Californians on the rare occurrence of rain, everyone is driving without any sort of urgency whatsoever. Is that a Volvo P1800? That is awesome, in canary yellow. Oh no, it's an MG. I'm so wrong. It's an MG, and I don't know what model of MG that is. I'm not super well versed in those vehicles, but it's so tiny. It's so cool. You guys let me know which model of MG that is, but that's awesome. Anyway, no one is driving very quickly in the rain here in Southern California. The speed I'm carrying here on the highway is a little less than I normally would travel, but let's listen to the cabin volume at these speeds. So, we've got a lot of different noises going on here. We have the extra variable of rain falling against the windshield, but the wind noise otherwise is not bad. I am hearing this louder road surface of the tire noise in through to the cabin, but I'm also hearing, especially at partial throttle and lower RPM, that resonant drone of the sports exhaust system. And man, if I had a long drive at these kind of speeds, again with partial throttle, that would get irritating for me. Might be enough for me to just not equip that option. Thankfully, it is an option. Now let's talk visibility. You're in a small sports car, you might think that could be compromised, but in the 86, I find it to be great. View out the front has zero obstruction, the A-pillar isn't too thick, you can see out the side glass easily enough. There is a small window behind the headrest here, so I can see there just in front of the B-pillar, and that blind spot is taken care of by the standard blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic. The view at the back is excellent. You are viewing from a lower vantage point, it's kind of low to high, and so things that are just below the duckbill spoiler in this Hakone edition are a little harder to see, but otherwise, I mean, I think the visibility out of the 86 is terrific. All right, I made it to the jewelry store. Now to go see if I can find Mobile Mama something she'll really love. Apart from me, of course. Just kidding. It is mission accomplished. I can't show you what I got her just yet because it's all wrapped up in this Valentine's Day packaging. Very cool of them. And they gave me free candy, which I'm not going to eat. Promise, this is for Christina. But I'm excited to give this to her. It has finally stopped raining, but over the past few days, the water's come down pretty heavy. That means the ground is still damp, and that also means that if you own a rear drive sports car, you're required, it's not an option, you are required to find an empty parking lot and to make some donuts. So, lined up, we're just gonna turn it in, stab the throttle to dislodge the back end, and just keep it going with precise throttle control and steering input. And eventually lose it in style. Then when it dries out a little more, you can even try turning in more than just one direction. It's fantastic. And the 86 responds very well in this environment. The brakes bite nicely. The chassis adjusts position quickly. The steering has excellent weight and feel. Oh, but the gearbox. Now that we're not doing donuts in just one gear, I'm really missing the engagement of the available manual. It's a good manual that's optioned in this car. And the 6-speed auto is, well, it's just fine. I mean, you do have the option of manual mode with these paddles on the wheel. And the shifts are prompt enough. But it's just not the same. You're losing out on some connection with the car. And with a platform this good, you want to get all you can out of it. If you go with the automatic for the increased livability that we're not fully finished discussing yet, nice 80 series back there, by the way, then you can still have fun. And you should still take it to roads like this. But just know, every time you take a drive like this, there could have been more. And there's actually one other performance category where the manual outclasses the automatic, and it's kind of an unusual one given most modern transmissions, and that's the 0 to 60. But I'm still gonna give it a real world run with my race box set up here to record in track mode with both traction and stability switched off, give it some brake boosting, let it go. Oh, tire spin, now we're away. And getting to 60 in 6.77 seconds. The damp ground didn't do us any favors, but at least we're in the sixes. And weather permitting, the automatic does at least give you consistent acceleration runs, whereas if you had the manual and you're trying to show off to your date at a stoplight, you could miss a shift. Now to shift gears. Just obviously not for myself. Let's see about the practicality of this GR86 with a grocery run to Sprouts. All right, I've managed to fill a small cart for this small car. Now let's see about the trunk space in the 86. Well, first off, just hitting the button releases the trunk, but doesn't raise the lid. I've got to do that myself. Although, now looking inside, this is quite a bit of space for this size of vehicle. It is a shallower floor, so it's a good thing I've got plastic bags and not the taller paper bags, because these can fit underneath the lid. I don't see any grocery bag holders though that would keep the contents from sloshing all over the trunk floor, so I am gonna have to drive in a more modest fashion so I don't find a mess when I get home. Oh, and this is non-alcoholic beer, in case you're curious, because apart from the rare wine tasting in Napa, if you saw my Lexus LX video, you know what I'm talking about. I don't really drink, so that's just me pretending. Look at all this extra room. Could do another 2 or 3 grocery runs just like that, and I'd still have space. Now I'll just return my cart like a responsible adult, and it does look like the Toyota GR86 is grocery store approved. But is it steep driveway approved? This is a pretty big one, so I'm gonna take it at quite the angle here and avoid scraping. We're good. Look who it is. It's Mobile Mama. And I've got a question for you, Mobile Mama.
Yes.
Let's say we were going on a date. Not like married with kids going on a date. We're just going on a date.
Yes.
Would you be impressed, and how impressed, if I was driving this 86?
I would think, wow, he's pragmatic but cool. He got the suede seats. I like this color combo.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's
the
really
Hakone
good,
edition gives you the tan and the black combo.
like
It looks
it.
good together.
Okay,
They even
so
do it
that
on
was
the
a good-
piping and the floor
Yeah,
mats.
that was a good choice with
It's
the
nice.
green on the outside. I
Yeah,
like it.
and the stitching on the inside. That's for me mostly, but
Yeah.
you know,
No, I like it.
you can appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's some style in here.
I would be glad you were driving something a little different, not just like a Mercedes-Benz or something.
Okay, all right. So she wouldn't be impressed by the Benz. She'd be more impressed with the Yoda. Now just listen. Do you like the drone or no?
I don't mind it.
Do you?
But,
Wow,
you know,
I think I'm getting old.
Oh, I was thinking if we were young, before kids.
Oh, right,
like,
yeah,
that's
of course.
Fun.
In my-
I was in that mindset.
That's right,
like, we're going
I
to a concert, but this is already the little mini concert
Yeah.
before the real concert.
Yeah, this is basically a mini
Yeah,
concert. It's just
exactly.
all bass. I think we're more fun now because our kids force us to be fun.
Well, they are fun.
They are fun, and
Yes.
if we are not fun, boy, they let us know about it. What do you think of the seat comfort? It's pretty nice, right?
It's comfortable.
Yeah. I think the
I
seats
like
are
it.
great. I love
Yeah.
these seats, actually. There are back seats.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get in them. Yeah, you're going to pull on the tab,
Pulling. Oh.
and then your seat is going to slide if you push it. Mine is not. I've got to manually do that. But now, you know what?
Hey, that's actually
Get
not
back,
bad.
Get back here pretty easily.
Okay, that was better than I expected.
Now, what is not going to
Except
happen is
this
I'm
headroom.
not going to. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not better than
That's
I
a bigger
expected.
issue. Well, it's intimate, so I guess if you had a couple friend joining you, they wouldn't
You just
mind
need
this.
to
Yeah,
gather in.
yeah, gather in. I did have to turn on accessory mode, by the way, because that door chime will go nonstop. This isn't gonna work. For anyone who's an adult, this is not gonna work. And I can't show it to you because the seat won't come back exactly where I had it at 6
Right.
feet. But that's for a very, very small person in front of me. And
I mean, there are short people. So
there are. I mean,
wouldn't
if it's
say anyone.
if it's one smaller person in front of another smaller person,
That's fine.
Sure. So it's for just a bunch of small people driving around together.
Don't make tall friends.
No. What about kids in car seats?
Ooh,
Let's
that's
figure that
gonna
out.
be a negative.
It's gonna be great. Hey, you got the rear-facing car
did
seat
it.
in there. That's great.
Yeah.
What is
What's happening here?
what's it gonna do for you or
We'll see.
to you? What's it gonna do to you as the front passenger?
good
Oh, you can't get in, huh?
Oh, and you know what?
Yeah.
We are old and not fun because I kinked my neck.
Oh, you just kinked your neck?
well, I did
Yeah.
the other night and that didn't.
What? What?
Oh wow, this
Wow.
is not gonna work.
No. So rear-facing
Yeah.
car seats are going to be a no-go. Even
No.
if you're small up front, that's a no. Let's try forward-facing just behind you. I had to sit down on the sill. I need a break. That was contorted. Very tight back there. I got the car seat in. That's fantastic. Now, what's going to happen when I put the seat back? So first off, it's not going to go there exactly, but maybe there. Well, I didn't even get my hat cam in there. There's
to be a kid with no
very
legs.
very little leg room,
Legless passenger.
as in none. But if it was like this and they didn't have legs, then it would still be uncomfortable. So if you didn't have someone in the front passenger seat, just eject them out of there. Then you could move this seat forward enough to fit a car seat behind you. It's the only way this works.
No, you would just sacrifice, as all moms do.
Oh, yeah?
Sacrifice your comfort
Yeah.
for your child.
Really? You think this one's family approved? Yeah? Okay. So the GR86, much as we've tried, is not family
approved.
disapproved. We've never done that.
We
It's
don't know
always
what
been
we're
kind of
saying.
family approved. Is family removed. That's good. The Toyota GR86 is
It's
family
family
removed. I was going to say, You know, it's Valentine's Day. And I don't usually get you something for Valentine's Day.
No, you don't.
I don't. This time I did.
Well, you got me a card, and that was good enough.
I did. I got her a card. I gave her a card early this morning.
That's a step up
It
from
is.
the past.
Thank you.
I
am better now.
They're going to roast you
Every
in the
year
comments.
in life, I get better.
And that's what you want to marry. Someone who's just, you know, all these girls go for someone who's just like, love bombing them. Here's this, and I went for the guy that just improved year after year.
Hey, when you're starting from zero, it's always up. Can you move your knee to the degree that you can get into the glove box?
Oh, gosh. What is going on?
Just try it. Huh?
Oh, a bag?
A bag?
This is where my wedding ring is from.
Ah, yes.
What is happening?
Would you like to see what's inside?
Yes, it's making me nervous.
Nervous? Why nervous?
Because I don't feel like I don't need anything.
I know you don't need anything. You deserve good things, though.
Oh, it's going to make me cry.
Oh, boy. Wait, really? Oh, babe. I want you to have good things.
I hope I don't need it.
I know you don't need it. I want you to have it. It's candy. It's just candy. I just got her candy. It's fine. It's
crying
fine.
for candy.
Jewelers touch candy. You know, they say there are
gosh.
diamonds in every bite. And that's why your teeth break.
I'm nervous. What is it? Are you nervous?
I want you to like it.
What if I don't?
Oh, boy. On camera, you won't like it.
Oh my gosh, it's a box within a box. An opal with oh my gosh!
That was a roller coaster of emotion.
You know I love opals.
I know.
And I love the diamonds on the outside.
Yay.
I have a camera. Thank you.
You guys were along for the journey. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Woohoo! It does appear I'm running a bit low on fuel here, so it's time to top up this 13.2 gallon tank. Not a big tank, but the EPA rates the GR86 at 21 mpg city, 30 on the highway, and 24 combined, and that is 2 combined mpg better than with the manual. If I saw 24 combined, I'd have a fuel range of 317 miles, though during my time with the car, I've been averaging 22.7 miles per gallon. And at current fuel prices of $5.35 here in California for 91 octane gas that the GR86 does require, it's gonna cost me $71 to fill this tank, and there isn't capless fueling, so I have to work this much harder. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered what you would gain in terms of livability from the automatic equipped GR86. And after quality time spent beyond the wheel, I can see there are definitely situations where the automatic would be more convenient. Being stuck in stop and go traffic or at numerous red lights with a manual can be annoying, especially if it's every day. And the auto does solve that problem. And the manual will cost a 2 mile per gallon penalty compared to the automatic, though that difference is made up by the auto costing $1,100 more. But I'm not convinced those points are enough to make me choose auto over manual. If you know your commute's gonna be terrible, then a sports car might not be the best option. And if you're dead set on getting one, then chances are you're willing to put up with the extra work to gain the extra engagement. Beyond the gearbox, the GR86 is comfortable riding with cushy seats, usable storage, and user-friendly features. Just maybe don't try to fit your family of 4 and perhaps leave off the optional droning performance exhaust. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time